Hello, Oracles! Well, it looks like we are continuing our downward slide this morning. Based upon futures, we are down almost 3% at the time of this recording. So what does that mean going forward? I was anticipating a potential green day today. We may still get a bounce and then rally a little bit. Who knows? All I know is that leading up until Wednesday, when we get the Fed decision, we are going to definitely see some volatility, most likely some more selling off, even if today does go green. And now for me personally, I do see this as good news. I mean, it's never good to see the stocks going red and the entire market going red, but I look forward and I say, all right, this is going to be temporary, regardless of whether it's 2 months, 6 months, whatever, it's going to be temporary. Even the recession in 2008, 2009 was temporary. Heck, I look back to COVID and the COVID crash that we had, and everybody looking back now going, oh man, I wish I bought more back then. This is now your chance. We all look back at 2020, and if you didn't buy in during that time, you said to yourself, I wish I bought more. Well, guess what? Here's your opportunity to buy more. May dip more. We may keep going down for another 2 months. But if you dollar cost average through these 2 months, come a year from now, you're not going to look back at this and say, oh, I wish I bought. You may say, oh, I wish I bought more, but you at least bought in and took advantage of this situation. So the more it goes down, the better return on your money you will have. And now looking at some technical or statistical analysis, as some like to call it, we are now kind of making a new gap. We're gapping down to start the day as long as we continue on the trend that we are going. We'll have a gap down, which is ironic because the gap that we had to 938 and change still hadn't been filled yet. So now we have kind of overlapping gaps over the same spot. I did take a little further look back and I was like, well, how much further can we possibly go down over the next 2 days? There technically is a gap down to 843 that spawns back from October 15th. Again, gaps don't always have to get filled. Will we get back down to that? Do not know. But it does exist. That goes back to that point. So will we fill that gap? Not sure, but it exists. So this is just something I will keep my eye on. But what I'm really keeping my eye on is earnings, of course, and the fundamentals and the numbers and the roadmap that we are going to get out of earnings. Because regardless of what the macro environment is doing in the short term, what I'm looking at is the long-term projections for Tesla over the next 5 to 10 years. And every earnings call that we get will help solidify the foundation of what that next 5 to 10 years will bring to us. And while the short-term stock price might not reflect what the future potential of the company is, I will take a look and see, all right, what do I think the stock price should be? What do I see for earnings, for revenue, for profits, over every single quarter over the next year and say, all right, well, if the stock price is trading for half of what it should be, that is just a larger return on my investment in the future. So I utilize that as a better opportunity to buy. So I'm going to go over all of my quarterly projections for 2022 today. Just a quick rough once over, give you guys a little idea, and then on my end of the year price target for Tesla stock as well. So now if you haven't seen, I already had my 2021 Q4 projection video. I will put that in the description down below. And so looking at Q1 for 2022 for Tesla, I've got average vehicle price at around $52,394. We know right now, based upon what we have seen for delivery and estimate delivery times, that they are prioritizing the higher end vehicles. They're going to continue to ramp the S and X, and the higher end models and the more expensive models for the Y and the 3 are going to get pushed out first. So that's what's going to help offset the margins for the first couple of quarters as they are ramping up Austin and Berlin. I'm projecting them at 348,750 deliveries. And margins, I think because of the fact that they're prioritizing the higher end vehicles, they will keep margins over 30%, and I have them at 30.1%. So I have Q1 EPS coming in at $2.57. Now for Q2, I have them delivering 433,500 vehicles. The average vehicle price comes down a little bit because as they're selling more Model Ys, because that's what they're ramping up majority of, that's going to bring down the average cost, and that's going to offset the S and the X that they are selling. So average vehicle price is $51,826. I have their margins still holding around that 30% at 30.2% as they are ramping up those factories and getting more efficient, minimizing the costs in them. And their EPS is going to be $3.35. And now getting into Q3, the vehicle price continues to come down, $50,880. Again, more Ys on the road, offsetting the S and the X that are out there. Deliveries are going to be 475,075 vehicles. Margins now start to bump up. The ramp costs are starting to go away a little bit at this point. So margins are going to be at 31.3%. And their EPS is $3.77. And now getting into Q4, the vehicle price actually drops below 50,000 based on my projections, because now we're getting to the point where they have to start delivering those lower end models of the Model Y and the other vehicles, because they have to get them out at some point. And at this point, they have now offset all of the costs associated with most of the initial ramp for the two factories in Austin and Berlin, so they can go ahead and push out those other vehicles. So the average vehicle price is $49,973. I have them delivering 551,850 vehicles. Margins now dip down a little bit because they are sending out the lower end vehicles as well at 30.2%, with an EPS of $4.27. And so for my total year projections for 2022, I see them delivering 1.81 million vehicles, margins at around just over 30%. Again, we've got two factories ramping, a lot of unknown costs, but still keeping those margins over 30%. My price target for the end of 2022, barring any major macro issues, what I think the price target should be is $1,969. And so getting back to the stock price and where it is at currently, with the macro environment pulling everything down, I was discussing with someone in the comments about, beauty being in the eye of the beholder. And I'm beholding some cash and cash flow options to be able to take advantage of this. And because I have my 4-quarter projection and my 10-year projection price targets out there, I don't see that this macro environment issue is going to be long term. Even if it lasts a year, it's still going to turn around and become green. Many of you, if you are on Twitter, there's a chart that's out there that shows, the entire stock market and how it goes up over the last 15 to 20 years. And every single little incident that was there, that was the catastrophic incident that was bringing down the stock market. And guess what? We got through every single one of them. And every single one of them was a dip that you could have bought and magnified your money even more. This is just another one of those moments where we are going to be going through it. It's going to suck while we're in it. We're going to see our portfolios fall. But if you have an opportunity to take advantage of this and add more to your portfolio, whether it be from cash flow options coming from the outside, emptying bank accounts to be able to buy the dip in a wise manner, or playing puts and options to be able to buy into this, and shorting the market a little bit and shorting the stock a little bit. If you can do it, because this is going to be another one of those situations, I can guarantee it, where a year from now you're going to look back and say, man, I wish I bought more. Let me know in the comments below, what are your projections for the 4 quarters in 2022, and what's your price target for the end of the year? What are you doing during this dip? Are you buying more in, and how far do you think we are going to dip down? Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I will send out all of the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, as well as all of the daily trades that I make as well. Thank you all so much. Have a great one.